Well, good morning. How are you? As you can tell, the sky is blue. In fact, I can't see a cloud in it. I'm in a big coat, but I'm bloody warm. How brilliant is that? Yes, it's towards the end of January and we haven't had a video for a little while because, let's face it, we've had storms galore and all we've been doing is coming down and seeing whether everything's here, which it has been, luckily. We didn't have any greenhouses to blow away and go all sort of Wizard of Oz on us. So we were pretty good. I hope you're all right. It's January, and let's be honest, it can be a bit naff. So I'm hoping you're all pretty good out there, eh? I hope the mental health is doing all right. And I hope you haven't kicked yourself in the backside too much about the resolutions. You're probably broken by now because we're only bloody human, okay? So, welcome back. We have been down a number of times over the last few weeks, and Dan has brought some stuff down, and Dan has also got rid of some stuff, which I'll be showing you in a moment. And today we are going to look at some beds and do some stuff with what you're about to see. And then we've got a bit of exciting news. Stick around. I've had a number of messages from people who watch the videos, which is really cool. I love that. That's brilliant. I love the interaction with you guys. And we've had some people talking about how it sort of eases their issues when they get out to the plot. And I know I do talk about it a bit, but I'm a big advocate for mental health, particularly men's mental health. And that's not being sexist. It's because we are daft and we don't get down there. And I know I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. This proves a great outlet for us, okay? You might not even be interested in what you grow, you know, you might not want to eat it, you might want to give it to other people. And if it's not gardening, do something else. Taking up walking quite a bit last summer, that was fantastic. I want you to be cool, you know, with your headspace, and it's great for physically as well. So, without further ado, first off, this is what Dan's been doing.
Just moving some plastic piping in to build a polytunnel. We're starting to make some progress with the beds now, so it makes sense to start building some little roofs for things, protect them from the critters and the various wild animals that we've got lurking around and eating our onions at the moment. So just dropping this off before the new year.
And then a few days later he came down again and he was getting rid of plastic grass. Who has plastic grass on an allotment? I can understand it in your garden, I suppose, but on an allotment? Well,
it's a crisp morning down on the allotment. I've popped down today to clear out some of our astroturf that's been left by the previous tenants. It's currently sitting on the plot, looking a bit messy. We've been told we needed to clear it, not that we would have kept it anyway. So pop down, get a bit of vitamin D. Not that it's worth much because it's about 2 degrees at the moment. We're gonna pick up all of the bits of mess that are on the plot at the moment and get those down to the tip. So here it is, the aforementioned astroturf. Not quite sure why anybody would want that on an allotment, but there we go. So gonna get that all cut up and get it down to the tip. So this is all that remains now. A few grow bags tangled up in all the mess, but that is the astroturf all ready to go. And find another home somewhere. Still not quite sure what would possess somebody to put astroturf on an allotment, but maybe I can be educated. Maybe there's something that it has a use for. But that is on its way to the tip, and that gives us a little bit more space to probably build a footpath through there and clear up a little bit more of this mess.
So that's what Dan's been up to, which is cool because the plastic stuff which I'm about to show you which you'll have seen on any number of allotments, has posed its own problems because we don't want them to fall down being wonky. So we're going to have a play around with that because there's a couple of ways to do it. And the plastic grass is just a naff idea on an allotment. If you've got an allotment and you're thinking to put plastic grass on it, I mean, who am I to judge? But come on, let's grow some bloody grass. Okay, should we go and have a look and see if there's been any damage from the latest storm? I don't know what he was called this time, Engelbert or something like that. Right. And before we do, cool that you're all messaging me, things like that. Well, some of you are messaging me and all that. If you do like what you see and what you're watching, do give us a like and a follow. That'd be cool. And I'm on Blue Sky. I don't know if I've talked about Blue Sky. I think I have a little bit. I sort of switched over there from X and Twitter, mainly because Twitter can be a very sort of grim, horrible place. Very negative, I found. And Blue Sky so far has been absolutely wicked. Got lots of support on there. You ask a question and you get answers. You don't get sarcasm back. So if you fancy that, go and give me a follow. I'll sort of pop that down there. All right, let's go have a look. Okay, well, at first glance, I think we're all right, you know. Here we've got the girls section. There we go. We've got one bed, two bed, then we've got a third bed. Oh, it does look as though the coal frame has taken a little bit of a battering. But here, I think the girls are going to be growing some wildflowers. Lyra's going to do a bunch of veg and courgettes and any number of things. Rachel is going to be growing, not wildflowers. I don't mean wildflowers, I mean cutting flowers, which is quite cool. Let's have a look and see how the coal frame's done. Not too bad. It's still here. Some things have been knocked over, but that's not the end of the world. Okay. Going down here. Everything's looking kind of all right, actually. Sorry for the jerky movements. I'm sort of new to this gimbal. We've still got everything in place by the looks of it. We've even got some onions growing. There we go. Some of them are surviving. Fantastic. Right. Let's go and have a look at what we're going to do today. Okie dokie. So what Dan brought down was called MDPE piping. This stuff, not incredibly light, I'm not going to lie, when you've got 50 metres of it. So good on you for carrying it all the way down here. You will have seen this if you're a fan of allotments, or you have an allotment, or you've ever really gone past an allotment. What you do is you cut it into size and you bury it into the ground either side, and then you can hang netting over it. There's a lot of places that have got it here. A lot of them look very wonky, and I'm wondering how people have attached them to the beds. I can see some people have screwed them in, some people just bury them, some people put supporting beams, some people don't. So we are going to have a play around with that. Now what we have done, my idea at first now, is bamboo. Allotment Gandalf, right? You shall not pass. I'm thinking bury some of this deep into the ground, cut it off to the length that we need it, then slip this over it and dig this into the ground as well. And I'm hoping that provides some sturdiness. I've seen people have screwed them in. I've thought about that. Some of them have done like hoops, and some of them have done them crisscross, so they sort of go over each other like that in a square. I think that might work a little better for our beds because they're not absolutely massive beds. So what I might do is one of each and see how it goes. Right, there you go. That's actual, genuine, allotment related content that you're watching now. How about that? It's only taken us 40 odd videos, isn't it? I suppose there was a few at the old one. Right, I'm going to have a look at that. Then we've got the exciting news. Okay, positives and negatives of today. No any negatives other than my gimbal died. Always make sure that your equipment is charged, guys. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit of a bummer, but it happens. I've got two of the beds with hoops on them now. One of them was a little bit unconventional, shall we say. But let's go and have a look at what we've built. Dan has been down here at a natter. We've had a couple of the other plot guys come over and have a natter as well. But let's have a look at what we've done and I'll talk you through them. And because I see these are everywhere and always wonder how they go in, and there's not actually a huge amount of videos about it from sort of the UK on there. So let's have a go see. Right, you can see it's a little bit muddy around. Here we go, here's the first one. And we're going to try and do a few of these to see which sort of works best, because you just kind of see things done kind of samey. This was going to be a cross, but I cut them too short. So instead of sulking and giving up, I've given this a try. So I've just done it either end, and then I've secured it with 3 sticks of bamboo, sort of zip tied together, and that should be holding enough now, strong enough, should I say, even to hold some light covering over it to stop the critters getting it. And then up here, this was actually the plan for this one. So what I've done on both of these is I've got some stronger bamboo. Sorry if that made you feel seasick. Here we go. So this bamboo that you can see here, and what I do is I sink it deep into the ground, as deep as I can, and then cut it off at sort of the level of the raised bed. Then what I do is I put the piping over the bamboo and also try and bury that into the ground as well. That makes it really quite sturdy. And then, just for good measure, I've put some more of the bamboo over the top. And if we have a look here, it actually is quite a sturdy unit. And then obviously it's going to have sticks and stuff around it, and then soil on top to further secure it in. So I'm kind of hoping that bed 1 works out well. I am not 100% sure on this one, because it was sort of a make do and mend kind of jobby. We've actually, if we take a walk up, I've approximated that at half of the piping that we've got. But looking at what's left, there's loads left. There's still all of this left. But this is between me and Dan, so I didn't want to go over and use more than half. So now I thought, well, I'll leave it for Dan to come down and do some, and we'll see what's left after he's done the same sort of amount as I have, and we'll go from there again. It might be half. I'm rubbish at spatial intelligence. Bit goosey at the garlic while we're there coming through. Now, as I was alluding to earlier on, we've had a bit of cool news. When Dan and I joined here, 62B is, as is suggested by the name, the second part of a full plot. But Dan and I were both on the waiting list. And next door, it was possible, might become available. And because we were both on the waiting list at the same time, we're both at the top of the list, which is cool. So part of it was, you get this, you might well be able to get next door at some point, which I'm very chuffed to say we have been able to do. So now 61A will be ours as of tomorrow, and it brings 62 as a whole plot again. It was a full plot at one point and it got split into 2. So we've got more to do. Should we have a look at the new plot? I think we will. So this is the view of the plot that, if you watch our videos, you will be familiar with. Ta-dum! This is 62A. I'm not allowed really to go on the plot yet because it's not mine or ours until Monday. But let's have a goosey. We've got some compost area here. We're going to have compost coming out of our eyeballs, hopefully. Then here, at the end, is what is going to be called the orchard area. There we go. We've got 3 what I think are apple trees that have not been pruned for some time. So that will be my first job because it's very late to be doing that. This is the plot. So on the right is what we normally have. On the left is what we have now. Now, any of this could be taken between now and Sunday. So I'm not considering any of this to be ours at this point, but some of it would be a bonus. We have an archway here that needs to be fixed. 2 beds. Seen better days, but good to go. Got some hoop beds here. And these are all done with quite a bit of sturdy looking wood, as you can tell. A long bed here that looks like it's got sprouts in at the moment. 2 more beds here. Some onions growing in these as well. I'm really at the periphery of where I'm allowed to be at the moment, but this will be sort of our new part of plot. There is a polytunnel frame and it's actually quite big. Again, this might be gone. So all of the fabric, as I think Dan said at some point, got torn off. It's down there at the end. It's got lots of raised beds in here. If this stays, we will be growing chilies in here and tomatoes probably. So fingers crossed. And the word's probably, not probably. Bamboo canes here, which would have been growing something. A pond, which, let's be honest, is pure dangerous in the state that it is, and a big pile of wood, some of which we can use, some of which will be going to be burnt, but we'll have to sort through that. And then there is a shed that is in, I don't know whether it's never been finished being built. I think that's probably what it is. We'll likely have to move this or move the polytunnel onto the others because you're only allowed 25% of a plot to be structures. And that, my friends, ladies, gentlemen, and children of all ages, is the right-hand side to what will now just be plot 62. No more of this A and B nonsense. We'll have the full plot. That is incredibly exciting. And on that note, I'm going to call it a day. It's getting quite cold now. We've got a booking to go and have some lunch. I'm covered in mud that doesn't smell much like mud, if I'm being honest with you. But as I said earlier, if you're enjoying these, please do give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, all of that malarkey. I'm over on Blue Sky. Give me a follow there. And I'll be coming up Monday straight from work to see what's been left on this plot. I might give you a quick update then. Certainly will on the Blue Sky. And hopefully, really hoping that that poly frame is still there. We shall see. Right, guys. Until next time, it's been a blast. See you later.